Hey guys, we are finally here with our Switch afterthoughts. It has been about 2 weeks since the Switch is released, a little less. And we're finally here to give our first impressions on stuff like the controller, the interface, and all that good stuff like that. I am here with Orsalace. Orsalace? He's dead! Sonic Boom finally killed him. Okay, guys. We need to do this discussion for Orsalace. I am here with Dillon.
Hello.
Dillon and Frank returning.
Woo!
And and Haku from Neurowork also returning.
What's up, Nerd Nation?
And we're doing this for Orsalace. Yeah, Orsalace is in here. I forgot the reason, but this is our first discussion without him, so he finally escaped my trap. So, to start off, like we do every discussion, we'll just give each of our overall thoughts. So, Haku, do you want to start off with your overall thoughts on the Switch and how it makes you feel?
Overall thoughts, I am a little disappointed in it.
Alright, is that all I want to say for now?
Yeah.
Alright, and Dillon, what are your thoughts?
I'm relatively pleased with it, but, it's not like I feel like it's the best thing ever made. But it's a console. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. It's a console. I'm kind of, in the same route as you guys. To me, overall, it feels really great. The hardware is great, even though it feels a little small at sometimes. And the interface is great, and the way you add your friends list is good. It seems and it's just it flows a lot better than the Wii U interface and stuff. But at the same time, it also still feels like a $300 Breath of the Wild machine. And I don't really use the portability all too much, so those are my thoughts. So I guess we can start with the hardware. What do you guys think of the console itself, the tablet?
It seems pretty well built. Taking a closer glance at it, it doesn't seem like it's cheaply made in the least. Very fine design, nice plastic being
used. It's a lot less childish feeling than the Wii U gamepad was.
Yeah, definitely. Considering that with the initial commercial we saw going all the way back in last October, or was it November? I forget. But
it was October.
Was it October? Anyways, putting that aside.
It was the 14th or something.
Something like that. But considering that there were no kids in the entire commercial, and now you see the final product, and it doesn't really seem like some kid's machine either. I feel like they really got that across well. But other than that, it's, a console.
Yeah, the dock to me feels a little... it's simple, but I feel like there's not much to it. And I guess the Joy-Cons feel really nice, and all the buttons and stuff. Haku, what was your thoughts on the hardware?
I kind of have to disagree. I feel like I'm going to be the antagonist in this conversation.
Someone has to fill in for Orsalace.
Yeah. It's all right.
It did feel very childish to me. It reminded me of why I didn't like the Wii U in the beginning. It looks like they're trying to learn from their mistakes, but with the Wii U, you had the big gamepad. Same thing for the Joy-Cons. It's kind of like, for an adult person, I really feel like these are just gimmicks. They're not really things that people are really using. Most people I know have, paid an extra $70 for the Pro controller. They didn't like the Joy-Cons. And when you're talking about that, it's kind of like, with the Wii U and the Wii, we didn't have a Pro controller. You just had the gimmicky controller that it came with. But that's an extra $70, and that kind of takes away, especially if you're only buying it for Breath of the Wild, that's an absurd amount of money to pay for just one game.
That is. I do see I see your point. It does, especially since like the buttons and everything are so small and like the analog stick. So I do see what you're getting at. I haven't tried the Pro Controller yet, but I've heard really good things from Dillon before this discussion. Do you want to talk about the Pro Controller?
Oh,
Dillon?
sure. So, my initial thoughts for the Pro Controller, because as Haku mentioned, looking at it, I was concerned that the Joy-Cons weren't going to be very good. So I went out and purchased a Pro Controller. And I have to say, it feels really nice in the hands. Before, the PS4 controller was my absolute favorite, but now it's like, this Switch Pro controller is now my favorite just because of the way it's designed.
For me, it's the
really
gamepad
comfortable
controller.
in your hands. The buttons are nice and big. The shoulder buttons are like very nice to press as well. They're not even noisy in the least. And the D-pad is pretty decent as well. So,
The
generally,
fact that there actually is a D-pad.
yeah, the fact that there is a D-pad is what really
Yeah.
cuts it for me.
Yeah.
Because when I
Would you
played,
say it's worth an extra $70 though?
now that's where it gets a little tough.
Yeah.
I can understand why it's $70, but we all don't want to pay $70 because it technically has like
Because you were saying earlier that it doesn't have the HD rumble.
I don't believe it does because I tried playing, Breath of the Wild a few different ways. I played some of the other games on the Switch a few different ways, and I noticed the HD rumble seems to be absent in the Pro Controller. But it does have the reader for the amiibos inside,
For the
and the
amiibo.
motion gyroscope controls are installed in this
Yeah,
too.
'cause I remember
So-
when I first got Amiibo and when Smash 4 came out and I actually unboxed the one I got, which was Kirby. I was like, it's a real hassle to have to get my gamepad and charge it because it was always off because I never used my gamepad. Charge the gamepad, get my gamepad, tap Kirby on the thing just to get him in there. It was really annoying. So it's really
Yeah.
nice that
Oh, no,
you do that on
it's-
Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller.
It's greatly improved. But yeah, my personal preference is to use the Pro Controller. But I'll get to one negative thing in regards to it a little bit later once we get to that. But yes, otherwise I would say it's pretty much the best experience when playing the Nintendo Switch.
Interesting. I have not purchased a Pro Controller yet. I'm still trying to find one. But pretty sure you guys touched upon everything that I was going to say. I guess we can talk about the HD Rumble now. Good transition. Or I could talk about the connector first. The Joy-Con connector, to me, I thought it was going to feel weird because it was like a square. I thought it was going to feel really weird in my palms, but it didn't. It felt like a controller to me. Not the best controller, but at least it felt like a basic controller, and it didn't feel like I'm holding this weird square, or it didn't feel like a giant controller like the gamepad did. So that was really nice. Also, and then HD Rumble, I don't know if what I was feeling was the HD Rumble, but when I connect the Joy-Cons and it rumbles, it felt so cool. And like I was saying earlier, when they first said HD Rumble, I'm thinking how do you make rumble feel better? But it's one of those things you just have to feel it because it does feel better. It feels like
Oh,
so
you mean
much more
the
real.
Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Yeah, example.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
the rumble itself just feels. It's like trying to imagine a new color, right? you can't think about it, but once you feel it.
Right. I was once they show you the new color, then you can actually see it, but otherwise it's impossible to fathom. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
The rumble is pretty neat. Because for some of the games that I tried it on, it's wow, I can actually feel the distance this vehicle is moving. I can actually tell there's depth.
What games?
Let's see. Blaster Master is probably the best example I have, and I'll get to that in a little bit.
I have
why.
only played Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
which
you played Breath of the
I
Wild.
should buy more games.
For Blaster Master, it's incredible because it's I played it using just holding it on the playing as a gamepad or putting it into the Joy-Con grip. And I will say the HD Rumble feels much better in the Joy-Con grip than it does holding it as some handheld device.
Separate.
Yeah, it really, or in separate as well. It feels much nicer that way. It's like a whole unit vibrating, even though it's only just the 2 Joy-Cons. But it was incredible down to the point where there was an explosion and you could see all the little dots where little bits of the explosion are falling off. You could actually feel the distance between one dot from the other. Really bizarre.
Which actually exploded.
It felt like that. It was like a really bizarre experience, and I can't really describe it so well. It's just so bizarre.
I have only played with this, like, the Joy-Cons, like, detached, like, one in one hand, one in the other, like, when I first got it. That when I did that, then it started to feel a little, like, kiddie and small when I did that. It just felt weird. It didn't feel as weird as I would think to have it, like, in separate hands. But, like, for some reason, I felt like they got smaller, which was interesting. Yeah.
Well, like I said, it depends on, it depends on the game, and it depends on what you're playing. Because I remember playing Skyward Sword for the first time and using the Wii controller to use as a sword, and I'm in the middle of the living room and swinging around, and then someone, like, I didn't feel bad at that time, and someone walks in and I'm all of a sudden very conscious of what I'm doing.
I feel.
But yeah, I mean, but Nintendo's great with that kind of thing of thinking outside the box. It's just one of those things for hardcore gamers. I just don't see it as, something that an adult gamer is going to be like, oh, I want to play with the Joy-Con.
The Joy-Con, yeah. I see what you mean.
Personally, I also felt like having one Joy-Con in each hand also felt kind of weird. Mainly because, like, it didn't feel right. It was like as if I'm not even really holding the controllers. And I think it does have to do with the fact that they are small. Because certainly if you have like a nunchuck in one hand and the Wiimote in the other hand, it feels like you're holding something at least. But the other thing, I felt like I couldn't even press the buttons because it just felt so bizarre.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the triggers? The R and L triggers? And ZR and ZL? It's a very specific question, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
No, it's fine. I actually didn't find it that weird having the triggers. It felt, maybe just being years of gaming, it actually felt a little bit more natural.
Mm-hmm. To me, the only issue is I feel like they're a bit, not the ZR and ZL, but the R buttons and the L button, I forget what they call it. Whatever. They felt a little too. Those ones felt a little too skinny or small for some reason, but the ones in the back felt fine to me.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I actually I haven't played the Switch. Dillon here has probably played it the most. Because I got it because I went home the day it came out and I played it for like a day and a half, and then I went to college for a week, and then I came back, so I've played it for like the past 5 or 4 days. So Dillon, I think you played it the most.
Well, I guess if you say so.
Just random fact.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've only played it for like one full day.
Oh, okay.
Because my friend,
you played at your friend, yeah.
My friend brought it over, and
did he bring it like just the Switch, or did he bring like the dock too?
He brought with the dock, and we were playing. I was currently playing Horizon Zero, and he was playing Zelda, and we looked over and noticed the games were very, very similar, with the weather effects and the open world. And when I looked at it, I just realized how similar the games were. I am more of a sci-fi person than a fantasy person, and I just didn't think that I wouldn't have gotten anything if I bought Breath of the Wild. I wouldn't have gotten anything new. So the Switch just didn't feel like something I really needed at this time.
Fair
enough.
Did you get to play Breath of the Wild at all?
Yes, I did, and it is by far the most gorgeous Zelda game I've ever seen.
I know. I don't want to get too much into Breath of the Wild because we're like gonna do a Breath of the Wild discussion very soon. a more in-depth one, but like it's so beautiful. Like I'm just going around and I just stop and look, and I'm like, oh, this is like, it's so atmospheric, and like you can just like, I went to one of the areas and it was like autumn based, and like the trees were all fall colors, and it was just so pretty looking. That game is really gorgeous. I guess we could talk about like how do you think it looks on the Switch, like overall the graphics for any game really.
You can go ahead, Dillon.
Oh, okay. No, I was just like gathering my thoughts. Sure. So generally, I would feel like, it's obviously not anything better than what the PS4 can give out. Obviously. Yeah. But I would feel like it is a nice improvement over the Wii U, since I've tried quite a few games out on it already. The only ironic thing I found about it was, because Frank has Breath of the Wild for Wii U, and I have it for Switch, and the Switch version is kind of laggy in some areas with frame drops.
I was just
but
thinking
the
about
Wii
that.
U version
I got a lot of frame drops.
The Wii U.
Actually, I heard the opposite.
You heard the opposite?
Like,
wow.
With the Wii U version, like in certain cutscenes, it drops to like 15 frames.
Oh, okay. So that might be it
like
then.
One point where it just stopped.
No, it was like that might be it then, because the frame rate never drops during the cutscenes on the Switch. But if what you're saying is true, it might be the opposite on the Wii U. That's funny.
That's really interesting. I haven't played much undocked, so I don't know about that.
It looks pretty
the
decent.
Frame rate, I don't know if this is true or not. If the frame rate is actually less undocked, I assume it is, but I could tell a difference. Do you know what the frame rate is when it's undocked?
I don't recall, but I do
Does
see.
Does it go to 30?
Maybe.
I should probably know that.
You should know that.
Yeah, I should know that.
I mean, it's
I
close
just
to
remember
to a standard 30 frames per second. It's not.
Yeah, because I could notice a difference.
Right.
Which I usually can't. But I haven't played it undocked since like the first day I got it. But I have noticed some frame drops. It's nothing too big like most games.
I only noticed that for Breath of the Wild though. The other games I played, no such frame drops. So.
That's good.
It might just
I have to agree.
It's probably just Breath of the Wild.
That I think it looks better than what the Wii U was showing, but as I was saying, like I played it right next to Horizon Zero, which is like an absolutely gorgeous game, and when you're seeing both Zelda and Horizon doing weather effects like rain and ice and things like that, you can tell that this is probably not going to be a machine that's going to be better than the PS4 or Xbox One in terms of graphics. But one thing that I have always loved about Nintendo is their games are generally more fun.
Yeah, they are. You can go ahead.
No, I was about to say, I know Ors has both. And he told me he enjoyed playing Breath of the Wild far more than Horizon Zero Dawn. He said it was more fun, but not as smooth looking.
Sure? That doesn't seem like something Orsolis would say.
No, that's what he told me. And I was quite shocked because I thought he was going to say the opposite.
Interesting. Yeah. That's pretty... So, like, even Breath of the Wild impressed Orsolis. It's pretty good.
That's probably what he's doing right now. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably what he's doing. Yeah, well, like, we, considering the fact that, like, they had to, like, they didn't want it to, like, look super crappy on the Wii U and then, like, amazing on the Switch, and Breath of the Wild has been in development for a while, so they could probably do more. Like, the graphics probably will get better, but, like, that's obviously not their main focus. The focus is the game, so to me it doesn't matter all too much as long as it's like can handle like the third-party big hitter games. I'm fine, because as long as we get all the games, then that's fine with me.
And that's what I'm a bit worried about, because
me too.
It's a very, like I said, it's not a powerful machine. It isn't. and I'm worried that because with the PS3, we didn't see like what the PS3 could really do until like the end of its cycle, where we had like Last of Us coming out, and we saw some really, really nice looking games come out. And the same thing for the PS4. We're still seeing better looking games with better looking stories. I am very worried that they shot the gun and was like, with Zelda, it's like, this is the best that it can do. You might not see anything as good as this for its life.
Yeah. I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Who knows? But like, it's like one of those things where it's like, if that's what we get, I'm fine with it. But like, it would be nice to see some really good-looking games. Like I said before, as long as we get the third-party games, which we still haven't really, like, obviously we're getting Skyrim, but that game came out in 2011. And like that, what's that game, like, the racing game that's on the eShop? What's that game called?
Oh, Fast RMX, I think?
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah, it does look really good. I tried it out. Looks fantastic on
do you
it,
wanna
actually.
Get some quick thoughts about that?
Think of F-Zero, but like really fast.
Really? Oh, interesting.
I like it. I love
Captain Falcon just did a bunch of cocaine.
Yeah, pretty much. It has like, in other words, it's the kind of speed rush Sonic fans want to feel, but they don't get exactly. Mm-hmm. And to me personally, as someone who's enjoyed Sonic games for a long time, I was like, if only they could master this. It felt really nice.
Yeah. Interesting. So that's it. I remember you saying Bomberman was really good.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Bomberman's Bomberman. That's a given. But it actually looked really nice. I was actually surprised noticing a few little small details, like nice reflections on the characters and the scenery and everything else. It kind of reminded me of something close to what could be on a PS4 game. But again, not quite the same.
I think Bomberman is one of my favorites so far.
You played Bomberman? Nice.
Yeah.
What did you like about it?
Like he said, Bomberman is Bomberman. I've always been a fan of Bomberman, so just
I'm gonna have to
throwing
go
the
buy
bomb
it
and seeing it explode and trying to get your friends caught up into it was just absolutely fun, because we took it to our local bar and just played all sorts of different Switch
Did
games.
you take it with the dock, or did you just take the Switch?
We just took the Switch.
Nice. So that's like a good example of the portability being used. Like, that's exactly what Nintendo wants you to do. That's what they want you to do. No, like, that's something they envisioned, like taking like your Switch and like setting up in like a bar and be like, hey guys, come, let's play. So that's really cool that you got to do that. I haven't like done anything like that. I don't go out much, so, and it's kind of ironic. It's like, I take my Wii U and GameCube, I lug those to college every time I go back and forth, but like once we have this portable console, I'm like, nah, I don't want it to get ruined, which is kind of funny. But like, if I were to go to like, because like, even if I do go out, I want to make it as fast as possible and get home. I don't really like go out and hang around places, but if I were to like go to like a cafe or something, it would be like, I could imagine myself just like setting up Breath of the Wild and like everyone would be looking at me, but I'd be like,
well,
whatever.
with the place that we're at, it's a local bar called Kaiju, like the Japanese monster films.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do a lot of nerdy stuff, and they actually have rooms where they have GameCube set up or
Nice.
N64 set up. So us bringing a Switch in there was not anything, weird. They were like, okay, just set up and go ahead and start playing.
That's awesome. I wish
Nice,
there was a
very
place
nice.
around me that did that.
For multiplayer on my end, since I don't really go anywhere, what I tried with Frank when we recorded Bomberman for our channel, I I actually had Frank use the Pro Controller, and I used both Joy-Cons in the Joy-Con grip. So we had like 2 separate real controllers, and we were able to play it just like any other regular multiplayer game on a, standard console. So I was actually curious if that was even going to work at first, but it did.
Yeah.
So
there's so many controllers. I'm just like, what combinations work? Can you use 2 Pro controllers? But like, I'll just have to test it out. So you guys make me want to buy Bomberman now.
No, I was shocked. At first I wasn't going to get it, and then when I decided to get it, it was all sold out on Amazon.
Yeah.
So,
really?
Yeah.
I might just get it digitally. I guess we could talk about games. So, for me, like I said, it still feels like a $300 Breath of the Wild machine, because... But like the games are coming, because we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe coming out soon. I can talk about that real quick, because like I said to Dillon earlier, when I first saw it, I was like, yes, King Boo. Like in that first discussion, I was flipping out about King Boo. It was like new battle mode, but then they're like, no new tracks, just new battle mode tracks. And then they showed it. I'm like, it's not a launch title. I'm like, my hype kind of died for it. But now that I have the Switch in my hands, and I'm just thinking, I could be playing Mario Kart 8 on this soon. That just got the hype up for me, because, I don't know, just something about playing Mario Kart 8, like, online, on my Switch, just seems like a really fun thing to me, so I'm excited for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now, and Mario Odyssey I'm super hyped for, because I've been playing a lot of Sunshine recently, but right now, to me, it's, like I said, still feels like a $300 Breath of the Wild machine, but that's probably because it's the only game I've played. So I do want to get some other games, like I want to get Shovel Knight and Bomberman, I guess. But what are your guys' overall thoughts on like the launch lineup and the library of games so far?
Well, for like day 1, there was like practically nothing. But like after, a few days later, some other games came on there, like I mentioned earlier, because I did get Shovel Knight on there. And actually, surprisingly, the 4 little arrow buttons are not that bad using it as a D-pad. It feels kind of weird at first when you're using it, but if you give it some time, it's actually, fairly usable. Of course, I still prefer my D-pad, but you get the idea. So,
yeah.
Shovel Knight's pretty good on there. I also mentioned earlier Blaster Master, and what I mentioned earlier about a con about the Pro Controller is that, surprisingly enough, it's actually not compatible with the Pro Controller. So there may be the possibility of other games coming out that are not compatible with the Pro Controller. I mean, hey, they could put in an update to Blaster Master at any point, and add the Pro Controller to it.
With Super Mario Bros. U.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's another thing I really disliked about the Wii U gamepad. It's like, all right, got my like $70 Pro Controller, gonna set up. Why can't I go into the settings? It's like,
no, exactly. But
I can't play Mario with this. I have to wait for like a few months until they add it.
No, right.
It's just really frustrating to me. It's like, you have this really nice controller, so why don't you just let me use it? And then there's that time where I was like, all right, I'm gonna play Smash Bros. So then I was like, oh, I gotta go set up my Wi-Fi because I'm home now. So I got my gamepad. I go into settings, set up the Wi-Fi. Then I'm like, oh, I gotta start the game. I put my gamepad away. I'm like, oh, I gotta hit the Smash Bros button to launch Smash Bros. So I'm like, I'll get my Pro Controller. Then I hit it on the Pro Controller. I'm like, all right, time to get my GameCube controller.
Oh man,
so I just used
crazy.
3 different controllers.
Also, that's another thing I did want to add about the Switch. I actually did get a LAN adapter for it.
Interesting.
But I only got it after the fact. And I got like a standard, just regular USB 3 LAN adapter that I saw was compatible with the Switch. So I didn't even get the regular Switch version because that's way too much money. I think I spent $16 for it. It was really cheap. And it works perfectly. Because the wireless kind of doesn't work very well. And I have like the same issues with my new 3DS. It never worked out for me. And it might be my internet, but using the wire connection on the Switch, very fast, very good. So I would highly recommend that.
I was going to ask you about that, like after we talked about the games. That was one of the big things I had with the Wii U. If you saw my video on the Smash Brothers for Mega March, I couldn't get online. I wanted to do a whole online thing, and it kept giving me error signals. And the same thing for the Switch. I wanted to know if, would it be better to get a LAN adapter, or, if the Wi-Fi was actually pretty good on it.
No, LAN adapter
Yeah,
is always the way to go for these. Always.
Yeah, I got a LAN adapter for my Wii U because in college I can't connect to like any of my friends.
That should be that should be adaptable
has,
to your Switch, by the way. The one for your Wii U.
Oh, okay. It like doesn't recognize the LAN adapter. Like sometimes it does. I'm like, yeah, but then it just stops, and I have no idea why, so I just don't use it. And at home, I don't really have a good spot for Ethernet. Actually, I do. I could try that, but
now
obviously, Breath of the Wild isn't like the competitive multiplayer game, so
right.
It won't need it anytime soon.
For the games, I'm not, like I said, I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
I like Shovel Knight. I have it on stream, or I have it on Steam, and I have it on PS4.
That's a good
don't
point.
need to buy it again. I mean, am I excited for some of the games that are coming out? Yeah, I do want to play Smash. I do want to play Mario Kart. But like I said, I've already played them on Wii U, so they're not a huge pull for me. Except for maybe like playing with you guys. Other than that, maybe Xenoblade.
Yeah, there's another one I forgot about.
But everything else so far hasn't pulled me to it. It's something I'll probably might not get until like later on, like probably holiday season. Will probably be at the time I'll probably get a Switch.
That's when Mario Odyssey comes out. Are you excited for that?
I'm actually pretty excited for that, and I'm not a huge Mario fan. I'm a Sonic and Mega Man fan.
It's like because Breath of the Wild is like obviously the big hitter, but like I could get that on Wii U. But Super Mario Odyssey to me seems like the first big, like here's the Switch. This is like the games on the Switch. Because like Splatoon 2 is new and stuff, but like it hasn't grasped me yet with anything new. Well, I'll have to see more. But Mario Odyssey definitely feels like the game to buy a Switch for after Breath of the Wild.
I actually want to try Splatoon 2 because I hear you guys always talking about Splatoon, and I'm just like, I don't really, I've never played it, and it looks
it's
fun.
pretty good. Yeah, it's the core gameplay is there, but there's a lot of minor things that I really hope they fix in Splatoon 2. A lot of those like dumb Nintendo things that like every other company gets, but like Nintendo's just like, did they just miss this, or are they trying to be different so much that it like hinders them? Because like it's like, oh boy, I love playing the same 2 maps for an hour. It's like, oh boy, I love the fact that I can't switch my weapons in the lobby. So I hope they fix minor stuff like that. And they're adding like roles and stuff, so that's pretty cool. And we're gonna get virtual consoles soon. I don't think they've said anything about GameCube games.
Technically, there is a virtual console right now, but it's not any Nintendo games. I believe there are some Neo Geo games up on there that you can download.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, there really isn't anything yet. But so technically, we got some, but not a wide selection. Hey, at least there's Metal Slug.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we can go into the interface. What do you guys think about the overall interface, like the eShop, adding friends, the friends list, just the main menu, stuff like that?
Personally, I think the main menu's okay. It looks like they took some inspiration from the PS4 menu. It's certainly much better than the Wii U menu in some aspects. But at the same token, since I got a few games on there now, it's like they go off the screen. And it's like, what if I want to see them on the screen? So it's like I'm trying to scroll through, and there are like no customizable options for it. So I'm hoping there will be an update fixing that.
Probably will.
Yeah, there probably will be.
Yeah. Also, I will say that it was also very nice that you can, just like on a PS4, press the home button, leave the game, put the console to sleep, and the game's still okay. Start the console back up again. So that was a nice addition they added to it.
Quick tangent. I didn't know it did that, so I like shut off my console, but I didn't close Breath of the Wild. So when I went and like turned on my Switch, it like Breath of the Wild came on like where I was, and I was like, oh shit, did I leave Breath of the Wild on this whole night?
Funny.
But no, I just did that. Like I was kind of guard, but continue.
I will say I don't like how they have the eShop currently. I would say the way it was on the Wii U was much, much better. But then again, there really isn't much on it right now. So again, probably an update's going to come by, rearranging how everything's going to be. But other than that, it's fairly simple. It's not anything as user-friendly as the PS4, I will say, but it is definitely an improvement in several aspects over the Wii U.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I think it looks a lot more streamlined than the Wii U. It really felt like a lot easier to get around than on the Wii U. Will there be an update? Most likely. Even for the PS4, like, we didn't have as many games on the PS4, so, once we started having like 200 games, we got an update so we could put things in folders to make it easier. So I'm sure that as we get more games and more outward cries for things to be changed a little bit, we'll get more updates for it.
To me, yeah, like I said, it's pretty bare bones, which especially compared to the Wii U menu, because the Wii U had the whole plaza thing that I remember them like at the Wii U before it launched, was like, this is revolutionary, and then like they just didn't do anything with it. And then it obviously didn't stick because it's not on the Switch. So like you don't have that, but it's like really simple, like I can get around easily. And the eShop, yeah, there's not much, and it's kind of weird just having like everything right there, but it is easy to get around. And the menu is it seems a lot faster to me. Like there's not a lot of waiting, which is very nice.
Oh my god, the delay.
Yeah. Like in the Wii U, it's like I hit the eShop and it's like 5 hours later.
No, I guess it does also depend on your internet connection. But yeah, like when I didn't have the LAN adapter installed and I was just relying on my wireless, I could barely get into it. It was a pain.
Really?
But after putting the LAN adapter in, 2 seconds already connected, and it moved perfectly.
I haven't bought anything on the eShop, but how was your experience? Did you buy anything on the eShop? If so, like, how was that experience?
Well, I don't know. It's like anytime you buy a game, you put in your information, you download the game.
Alright, so no major problems.
No, I will say though, one qualm I have of it is that you have to go to your re-download list and then hit the download button for it to start downloading. That was from my experience. I've heard people say other things, so I don't know if that's like a bug on mine specifically. I have no idea, but there's probably going to be an update fixing it up. It is relatively new after all, so.
Alright. How do you guys feel about the friends list? I know, like, the return of friend codes isn't good, but I think they're going to fix that. They're going to add, so you can add through Nintendo Network ID or whatever account they're using. But to me, I really liked the new friends list system. I have a few friends on there, and it'll show you what they're playing, which is really nice, and they have a little account. I wish you could, like, message them or something. That would be fun. And I like the little icons you have. Like, I have Luigi, his Super Mario 3D World icon, and it's, like, really cool looking. And, like, there's a bunch of cool icons. I was happy to see Pikmin there, and Metroid. What do you guys think about, like, the whole friends list and stuff like that?
I don't have any friends.
That's what I thought you were going to say. Well, add me.
I mean, I could.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the same thing. We didn't really have anybody to add, so I have no experience on that. Like, I have friends on the 3DS, so I kind of, and for the Wii U, they kind of understand, like, the friends list thing.
Yeah. It's
but I don't
more
know how it
similar
works
to the
on
3DS.
On the Switch.
Yeah, it's similar to the 3DS, where you can just, like, go to your, because the Wii U is a bit slow, and, but here it's a bit faster, and then you can see, like, it'll give you, it's like a grid view, and, like, it'll have their, profile picture, and then it'll just say under that if they're online and what they're playing, which is really nice.
Yeah. It looked good, but again, I don't have any experience with it.
Yeah, you will after this discussion, because you're a friend of yours, right?
No,
I'll
exactly,
give you my friend
exactly.
code. Yeah, and I haven't played online yet. Are there any, like, what games can you play online so far? Are there any?
Good question. I actually don't know. Well,
'Cause, like, I want to experience how the online works.
technically,
But,
we will be able to experience that without a doubt on the 24th, 25th, and 26th, because that's when the Splatoon 2 demo is going live, and you can try that, and that requires internet connectivity. So I'm definitely going to be trying that out.
I remember playing the Splatoon 1 beta or demo, and that was really fun. That's what made me want to buy the game, so I'm pretty excited for that. But I don't think I'll be here. Interesting. I won't be able to play that.
Well,
Just realized that.
I'll try it for you.
Maybe I'll bring my Switch with me. Who knows?
Wow, dangerous.
I just don't want it to get ruined. Has anyone like dropped it or anything yet?
No.
No, but it feels like a pretty solid, even though it's light, feels pretty solidly built. So I
Yeah,
think
it
it could
does.
stand a drop.
I'll go test it right now.
No.
Guess my Switch will throw it.
You know how it works. If you intentionally drop it, it breaks. It's always if it's accidental, it's fine.
I guess touchscreen. I mean, it's a touchscreen.
I've never been big on
It's
touchscreen, so I've never bothered
Yeah,
with
me
it.
neither. I mean, it's nice when you're typing. Have you guys used like the share button? I've used that. I didn't think I was gonna use that at all, but in Breath of the Wild, I saw Beetle for the first time, and I just like hit the button and added a piece of text saying "My hero," and then just boom, put it on Twitter. Which is really nice.
I've seen some people use it. I mean, it doesn't seem anything different than what the PS4 does. Just hit a share button, and because that's what I was saying before. Like Horizon Zero actually had where if you wanted to take a picture of a certain part, they actually take away everything that's on the screen, and you can move it around and take a photo and share it. So yeah, it's your regular share button. How are you guys dealing with or has anybody actually been recording off of it,
No, I
to
haven't yet.
videos?
I have.
Have you
tried,
had
Dillon?
any problems with that?
No, it actually ran smoother than any other thing I've ever recorded with my capture card. I was impressed.
Yeah.
Because
Seen
I've had
people streaming Breath of the Wild, and it
'Cause,
seems fine to me.
I
I
mean,
mean, they could be on the Wii U.
I did have like maybe one bug issue trying to do, because I did like a ramble video on Breath of the Wild because I couldn't record with Frank, and there was one moment where the footage hiccuped, but for Bomberman, forget it. It was seamless.
That's good to hear. I know Metal has done some Switch videos for that racing game that I keep forgetting the name.
Fast RMX.
Yeah, it looks fine to me. Fast RMX, yeah. That's what I like. I knew that, but I didn't want to like say it and have it be wrong. So recording that's good to hear. I'll have to do that. I guess do you guys have any final thoughts?
Like I said, all in all, I think it's a good machine. Just it felt very Nintendo, and didn't really feel very like in any way revolutionized the gaming industry at all.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
You can go ahead, Dylan.
No, I agree with him. Because when I thought about it, because I am an old school Sega fan, it almost reminded me of what Sega did when they released the Dreamcast. Because the Dreamcast wasn't exactly anything revolutionary, but there were so many capabilities that we later discovered that it actually had that was never fully explored because it failed. And that was my first initial thought when they were saying, oh, we're going to release a new console. It's going to be the Switch. I was fearful that it was going to end up becoming another Dreamcast. But I don't think it'll suffer the same fate as it. And again, personally, I liked the Dreamcast a lot. And, I mean, the Switch might be, something like that too. It's just that as I was playing Breath of the Wild, I almost felt like, what if they released a version that was just like a box and you could put the cartridge game in and just only use the Pro Controller? Because I felt like that's the only way I'm going to really be playing it. And sure, I mean, if I feel lazy every now and then and don't want to put on my TV, I could just play it off of in handheld form. But I'm not really going to be doing that. Because I do have concerns for heating issues based off of how it is inside the docking station. So...
I meant to ask, battery life. What do you guys think of the battery life?
Like I said, I haven't really played it undocked, so
I play.
For me, I mean, yeah.
I didn't play Breath of the
Dillon,
Wild
the
really.
Battery ever...
I did play Breath of the Wild on it like that for a little bit, for about 2 hours, I would say, and I still had plenty of battery power left, which was kind of surprising to me because I thought it would eat at the battery a lot. Yeah. My only qualm with that, again, is because the Joy-Cons have their own separate batteries, and if you have that connected to the tablet, it's draining it. So it's almost better to
if one of those
take
goes
them off.
out, you're boned.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you could better have your charger handy, or put them in a charging Joy-Con grip and play it in kickstand mode, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But no. But if I'm
what do you
like,
think about the kicks? Oh, sorry.
But if I was like playing something like Shovel Knight or Bomberman, forget it. The battery lasts much longer. Like it's like it was still at 80% after like 4 hours, so it can go. Really
and
far.
the charger is like just a regular charger, so you don't have to like if you lose it, you can just buy another one because it's not like this weird Z-shaped thing.
Yeah, it's a USB Type-C, so that makes it far simpler. And I guess one advantage having a charging Joy-Con grip and a Pro controller is that it gave me 2 extra chargers for the Switch itself.
Nice.
So I can just like plug, because I have a little USB charging port that's like separate from everything. I can just plug 4 USB things in there. So if I'm playing the Switch off the docking station, I could just plug it into that, no problem.
How's the Pro controller battery?
Pro controller battery lasts a long time.
Yeah, I remember the Pro controller was like 80 hours, so I was like, damn.
It lasts longer than my PS4 controller. I tested it out because I also got other PS4 games this month.
I think I've had my Wii U for 5 years. Got the Pro controller pretty soon after I got my Wii U, and I've only had to charge it like 3 times in that entire span. It's pretty crazy. So is the charger for the Switch, does that work on the Pro controller as well?
Yeah, it does, because it's all the same connection.
Yeah, because the Wii U gamepad charger doesn't work for the Pro controller and vice versa.
No, it's all the same. It's all USB Type-C, which again I think was a very smart move on their part.
That's good. Have you played the Switch with the stand thing on?
Yeah, I tried that out for a little bit.
I think like I put it down, like the stand wasn't out enough and like almost fell.
Yeah, you have to, like when you pull it out, you'll hear like a little click sound. You'll feel it, so you'll know that's when it's out of the way.
I feel like I could just like.
No, it's meant to be cheaply made because people will accidentally break it off, but all you have to do is just put it back on. It fits perfectly like that. And also, ironically, that's where the micro SD card slot is. Pretty neat.
Really?
And unlike the Wii U, this thing can actually hold, quite a bit of storage.
Yeah.
Unlike the external.
So far, I've heard 256 gigabytes.
Much better improvement over the Wii U.
I'm 32.
So,
I'm gonna download Xenoblade.
But I mean, like, it still doesn't compare to what you can do for the PS4, because my PS4 has a 2 terabyte drive installed on it, so...
Shit, that's more than
the first day I bought my PS4, like, I put a 1.5 terabyte hard drive into it.
Yeah, exactly, because 500 gigabytes is not enough space, especially with the size of games on there. But it doesn't look like the games are that big in size so far for the Switch.
Except for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, except for that one. That
was
game
what I heard.
Is massive. But for the other ones I've downloaded, no. I even put in I Am Setsuna on there just to compare it to PS4 version. And again, it looks really good on the Switch. But yeah, that wasn't even that big of a file either. So that was good.
Nice. My quick final thoughts. It still doesn't really feel like a new console to me. which is it's kind of weird. I don't have that like new console mindset yet, but then again, it's been a while. Like the Wii U is the last new console I got.
I mean,
So
the
it
good
doesn't
thing
feel
is
like that yet.
is that people are enjoying it, which is what I am happy for.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not a big Switch fan, but I'm glad that it
It's doing
seems to be
very
doing
well.
well.
Yeah, I
The
was just about
sales
to say
seem
that.
like they
It's
are
1.5 million. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think they've already surpassed Wii U sales, and
Damn.
and I think I sent a video over to Josh before about the Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild. Somebody's already done a hour
Speed
run, and so people are enjoying it. So that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's already like movement tech. Like if you mash the run button, the horse call button while moving forward, you can just like basically run without getting rid of any stamina. It's kind of awkward to do, so I don't do it too often unless I'm like running over a giant field.
Thanks for telling me
but
that
that's cool.
after beating the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty behind. But we'll say that for the Breath of the Wild discussion. So, like I just said, they've sold 1.5 million. I think that was just in the U.S., if I'm not mistaken, something like that. So it's doing very well. The launch was very successful, despite Breath of the Wild being like the only big seller. So it can only go up from here. Actually, it could go down, but good start.
Probably another thing I should add is like you can also put in the other, because since you can add multiple users on there and each user has different save files from the other, I did like that on the interface. And if you have like a Nintendo account from a different country, you could put on the different country's eShop on there for the different user. So you could have a Japanese eShop, a European eShop, and then your American eShop or whatever. And it's great. So you can download all the region-sensitive games, and they work on the console. So yeah.
All right, well, I think that is it for this discussion, if that is okay with you, fellas.
Yep.
All right, so thank you for listening to us ramble about the Switch. This was our first impressions. Stay tuned for a Breath of the Wild discussion coming soon. Yeah, so I'd like, do you guys want to quickly say where people can find you at?
Sure. Well, if you're interested in finding two very opposite personalities playing games together, go to the Dillon and Frank Play Games channel. Yay! Currently, we're doing a Link to the Past randomizer and playing Super Bomberman R. So if that's something you're interested in, take a look-see at it.
And you can find me at Nerd at Work, currently starting a Nier playthrough, finishing Final Fantasy 15, and we are currently doing a Mega March event for all YouTubers.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. So thank you both for coming. This has been Sensei Josh. So see you guys on the flip side.